I'm Tina Orwall, and I'm proud to be the state legislator in the 33rd District. We're here today in Kent. One of the issues I worked on all session, which was one of our most important policy issues, was on foreclosure. In our state, we've gone from 25th in the nation to 10th in the number of foreclosures, and over 77,000 families have lost their homes the last 2 years. And they anticipate somewhere between 40 and 50,000 people may lose their homes this year. And you know, so many people in the district have been impacted. When I was in Norway Park outdoor bowling, I spoke to 4 people on one block who were trying to modify their loans to keep their homes. And so I really understood from the homeowners that our system was broken. I'm here today with Pamela Bailey, who's a homeowner in Kent. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happened and the steps you've taken to try to keep your home?
Well, first of all, I never gave up, and I've been applying for a modification to stay in my home for the last 3 years after being laid off.
How many people did you talk to, and what offices?
When I would call about the process, I would talk to someone in Ohio, or someone in Phoenix, or someone in Texas, or someone in New York. So I was always being transferred around.
When you think about a homeowner who hasn't worked for a large bank, what do you think their experience must be like with the current system before the law?
Well, because I've been helping other homeowners as a volunteer, I have people calling me that I've never even met, but my name has been out there because I decided to give back and to share my experience and to say, hey, let me help someone, you know, that's in the same situation as myself. And what I've learned is they're in the middle of a nightmare, and they're stressed out, they're struggling, they're not getting their voice heard, nobody's listening. So that's what I do.
Yeah, it's so incredible that you're stretching out and helping others while you're trying to keep your own home. I'm here with Billy O'Sullivan. Billy is a resident of Kent, and he also is a broker real estate agent. We're out today next to the Kent Police Station. Welcome, Billy. Thank you for joining us today. You know, our real estate market's been heavily hit the last several years, and I know you do a lot of work not only in real estate, but on short sales. What would you say the impact on foreclosure has had?
Well, when a house gets foreclosed on in a neighborhood, essentially that house and that property just becomes a dead spot. And it's so sad. I have a foreclosed home that's right next to me here in Kent, and we've been making sure that the raccoons stay out of it. And it's one of those things that it's not only sad for the people that are being foreclosed on, but it's sad for the whole neighborhood because they lose a part of the neighborhood when that house is foreclosed on. So it's terrible. I've had experiences where homeowners who have identified themselves as a short sale candidate, put their house on the market, get what we would like to call a fair market value offer, and still have the foreclosure proceed through. When they turn around and have to sell it as a bank-owned or an REO property after the fact, a year later, the end result is $50,000 or $60,000 less than the offer that we had up front. So it's a lose for everybody. And it's just sad that when these people are trying to do the right thing, that everybody's ready to go, but the bank just isn't reacting.
I'm talking with Greg Aist. Greg is a housing counselor and is one of the most important parts of supporting homeowners. How would you describe to the homeowner of what your service is about and what to expect?
Well, the first thing I would say is housing counseling is nonprofit, meaning we don't have an agenda. We're just there to help them. And what a housing counselor really does is, with some sensitivity, you're asking the hard questions that speak to the homeowner's financial situation. And then you're trying to inform the homeowner of their realistic options, because there are so many things said and thought that are incorrect, and everyone's situation is different. So historically, you've had clients that have had a challenge with divorce, medical issues, or lost a job. Well, now I'm running into so many more people that are having cash flow issues because the economy has hurt their work and they no longer have bonuses and overtime. They no longer have opportunities, or one spouse's hours are reduced, or they're a government worker and they have furlough days. You cut their income by 15%, their debts don't go down by 15%, and the lenders and the mortgage companies historically haven't had programs that reduce their income or reduce their expenses when their income goes away. Easily 50% of the people that I've seen, the first thing they say to me, they spend 10 minutes getting it off their chest about how frustrated they are that they haven't had an opportunity to talk to or speak with or be heard the true facts of their situation.
Under the new law we passed this year, there will be 4 important things that will happen. The first is that people will have access to a housing counselor. This will be a resource that will not be at any charge to the homeowner, and this will be a resource available all over our state. The second thing is that we focus on what's called meet and confer, where the homeowner up front, before the foreclosure process is started, has the ability to meet with their bank. This is so they can explore all those options and maybe avoid foreclosure altogether. The third part of the bill is really around what we're calling this mediation. So if someone gets a counselor or attorney and they're still not able to resolve it with the bank, they have a right to mediation, which is a neutral third party that will review the paperwork, review the process, and make sure both parties have acted in good faith. The last part, there's teeth to this legislation. If the banks don't send the notices, if they don't pay the fees, if they don't act in good faith in the mediation, they're subject to fines through the Consumer Protection Act. So we think this new law kind of packages new protections from homeowners, which is going to give them every opportunity to review what options they have to stay in their home. We are here today with the Mayor of Kent, Suzette Cook. Welcome. The new Foreclosure Act is going to be implemented, and I'm just curious, what do you think that means for Kent?
It certainly is something that we wished wouldn't have that great of impact on Kent, but it will, because we have so many families and individuals who have found themselves in financial strain where they have been foreclosed on. So anything we can do, and what you were able to do in session this last year, to help make that process both fairer for the individuals who have lost their home or have the potential of losing it, bringing some accountability to the financial industry, all of that is a benefit that will affect far too many people here in Kent.
We're here today with Dan McConnon from the Department of Commerce. Can you give us a little background of what process you're doing to get everything up and ready?
The department is first off working with several other agencies, the Department of Financial Institutions, the Housing Finance Commission, to put together a communications plan to make sure that homeowners are aware of the rights that are available to them, who to contact, and so forth. We're more than tripling the number of counselors that are available throughout the state. The access for them is through a single toll-free number, and so there's a process where they don't necessarily have to know the agency in their community, but will be referred to one centrally.
Now here joining us is Dee Taylor from the Housing Finance Commission. They're a key agency in implementing the new foreclosure law because they oversee all the counseling services. What do you think about the new resource of mediation, and how do the housing counselors feel about that, and do you think they'll use it very often?
I think it's wonderful, and the reason it's going to be so helpful is, for the first time, it gives the borrowers leverage. Right now, when they're dealing with a servicer or a lender, many times they're talking to different people. I think we've all heard that. Or they've lost documents or paperwork or whatever. But this is a situation where the borrower can say, stop, you need to talk to me. You need to explain why you've lost the documents. You need to explain this and whatever it is. So it's leverage. In my mind, they're going to be able to have a voice when they haven't had it before. The bill provides for lenders to pay $250 for each notice of default. And the lenders really stepped up to the plate and agreed to that. And we're very proud of that. And I believe the reason they did it is because they know the counselors are there to help. And if the counselors help the borrowers, then the borrowers in essence help the lenders too, because there's so much work to be done. And I just think it was a good thing they did, and I'm actually very pleased.
The biggest thing we can do is just continue to get the word out, because so many people, they may not even know yet that they're going to need what you have made into an easier process.
The first day the law took effect, there was a sale that was going to occur. We worked with trustees and with banks who had those sales to make sure that any homeowner who wanted to take advantage of mediation would have the opportunity to be referred. And that'll happen for all of these individuals who are in that same position during the first 90 days. We had 36 referrals to mediation from either counselors or attorneys. It appears that all of those sales have been deferred while there's time for the mediation to take place. So it's early evidence that the system works.
I can't tell you the satisfaction it gives me when I'm done with the session to look across the face and see some wrinkle lines and worry lines gone from a client's face. They're stressed out, they're nervous about what they're about to go through when they come in, but when they leave, even if I can't solve their problem, I let them know where they stand, where their opportunities are, and the education that they get from seeing a counselor is almost priceless.
the people that have been so frustrated when they're trying to complete that short sale now have a way so that they can truly have a voice. If we can save one person, that's a start.
I did get my sale date postponed, and they're going to give me an opportunity to show that I can pay this temporary modification and then supposedly turn it into a permanent one. Got my fingers crossed.
If you were to talk to a homeowner with the new law, what would you say now for those homeowners that are struggling?
I would say, you know, this new law is your voice. Take advantage of it. Use it. Don't just walk away. Just, you know, sit down with a mediator and find out what you can do, because at least I would say 55% of the people that do, or maybe even more, will probably save their homes.
So you've heard about the help that's available to homeowners now. You know, I've been working on this issue for 3 years, and I've really seen a lot of changes. 3 years ago, when we talked about foreclosure, it was really about subprime loans and families being overextended. And the stories I hear now are more families that have been so impacted by the recession. They've lost their jobs, they're underemployed, they have mounting bills, and their homes maybe don't hold the value that they did several years ago. Hearing a lot more from homeowners that have a lot of equity in their house and have a lot of resources to lose. When you think about your home, you know, for most of us, this is the most important asset and the largest asset we will ever own in our lives. It's where the people we love the most are, it's where we raise our kids, and it really gives us a sense of security and connection back to the community. And so when it comes to saving something as important as your home, the least you deserve is a face-to-face contact, and that's really what this bill is about. Thanks for joining us today.